military operation, and design. That's not an opinion. The people who are under the governing auspices of the Circle Church and Chancery operatives of the bar, British Accredited Registry, that actually are the trustees for the United States Corporation and Company, faced to the public by what is known as congressmen and senators for the United States Corporation and Company, all know this, and they use this. All their operations between each other is, in layman's term, called good cop, bad cop operations, where you think they're actually opposed to each other, and they're operating in partnership to drain the carcass of humanity, which you know as exploitation and colonization, that the people keep forgetting that we're colonized. Usufructuary is colonization essence.
Now let's qualify that, because it's in the terms of how they use it. When it had its original,
the meaning is given to you mildly so that you don't look beyond the veil.
Also, can we say that then the word the prefix is for fruit, and so it's about the fruit.
Another good word for right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I will try to lean to things that are researchable in the records, that they will recognize that what is available to them. As an example, when we tell people to read the flash drive with when Traficant spoke on the floor, and you already know they neutralized him later.
Yes.
And hypothecation, use that when you're looking at usufruct, because that is the term that's used among themselves, but not to the public. And hypothecation is what the marriage license is used for, the birth certificate is used for. Thank you, Prime Minister. The birth certificate is used for. The CDLs and the driver license are all usufruct, hypothecation, estate, and equity draining instruments. That's why we remind people, when people are reminded of Jekyll Island, they call it the monster or the creature.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of Unum Sanctum operations. It's in stages. And this is where the masters aren't aware of the time warp. So it's sort of like rebranding, and the rebranding is part of the political art of making people think that certain things ended when they really didn't. No different than, we know that the word slave is connotatively used, but in its connotative context, understand, for the mind control operations of the manumission and the neutralization of Abraham Lincoln was the period of where they overthrew the republic in order to institutionalize slavery, not end it. So remember, the 1865 operations and the Bureau of Refugees, Freedmen, and Abandoned Lands, which is the proper name of what people have been told in schools, the Freedmen's Bureau, which is the Bureau of Refugees, and we are those refugees in our own land. Do you understand?
So let me give the layman's terms of what you just said. What this means is that you're operating under usufruct, and your estate, as he said, is hypothecated. You're using what is legally pledged without full disclosure. They are. It's a high-level form of spiritual and legal enslavement hidden beneath the surface of words, systems, and status.
Exactly. That's the wardship tenures, and that's wardship, and that's how all the corporate states are run. That's why the people are treated as wards, because we're actually political wards. Now, to cover it up, they will project, and they have used artfully, the phenotype psychosis of human of human evolution and genetic codes of families that they use from or adopted from Carlos Linnaeus and Frederick Johann Blumenbach, and weaponized it, and they call it the race issue of North America. Mm-hmm. All that's mind control. Doesn't mean that everything related to it is false. It doesn't mean it. It means it's biological information mixed into political, jurisdictional usurpations, and then used as from a usufruct and a hypothecation mentality and linguistics to actually steal the birthrights of the people under the guise of color of authority, color of office, and color of law. The outcome is usufructory. And so you must look at also what is known as perfect usufruct and legal usufruct. So write these things down, because you're going to do your research so you can refine the politics that are ongoing currently as you see the nations of the earth in conflict with the representative praetor for the corporation, who at this particular time is designated as Donald J. Trump. And all of the threats that he's making relative to taking over Greenland, hypothecating Canada, maybe Mexico, or claiming Panama Canal type thing. Mm-hmm. That's unum sanctum operations. Does not mean that that's him personally. People got to get out of personalities, because remember, the assignments are imposed. And you already know twice that's made public. It's actually more than that, but twice projectiles came at him to remind him, because he was not following the script.
Yeah.
However, he also has an ego, if you get the point. And even though the Khazarians still control all of the platforms, he has not been as cooperative as the others. That's what makes him unique. Mm-hmm. Don't look at that as support. Look at him because it's important, because the things that are happening around him will expose the system and free you from the mind control if you pay attention. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like a betrayed party in a corrupt order who's trying to break away, can't, but trying to do what they can to kind of spoil it at the same time. That's Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Meaning that when they threatened his family and threatened him, kind of like, all right, we can play, if you get the point. But at the same time, you're still locked in, if you get the point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, and you have to keep in mind, this is why, even now, if you notice how they're threatening to remove the 2.8 billion of note support to Harvard and some of your major universities, that's your larger one, but it's actually all of them.
Because they've been responsible for a lot of the propaganda.
They're redirecting the finance to Israel.
Oh, but that's not good. That's not good.
No, listen carefully.
But I'm saying that's not good, but they have been.
It's important for us I'm just saying, not for you, but for people not to look at it with emotion. We're talking political logistics, and we want the people to pay attention to the componentry that I'm presenting, so that their minds cannot be distracted, so that their families don't get trapped and sacrificed, because they're going to do a lot of human sacrifice along this way, there and here, and the people still don't believe it. It's almost like our people still don't believe that these people are evil.
I get it.
It still hasn't wrapped around these people's heads that that most of the makeup, high-end makeup that these women have been using are some of the babies who were disappeared.
Yeah.
And you can say that and they still can't wrap their head around it. And many of them can do some research and see it and still don't wrap their head around it. The point that I'm making is when the beast is cornered, they become more dangerous. And as the world stopped buying the US Treasury bonds, they're threatening everybody because it's over. But it's not over, if you get the point.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people look at things, with an attitude, look at it logistically, because you have to keep, not unlike a doctor or a nurse. If you're a nurse or a doctor and you're dealing with a patient and the patient got a splinter in their finger and is bleeding kind of profusely, the nurse can't go, oh my God, and run in the corner, cry, get a napkin, then come back to take the splinter out. Doctors and nurses don't do that. Neither do soldiers. That's my appeal to you. You have to, we are in need to become more stoic at this time, but not narcissistic. That's from the spiritual realm, for real. I'm interjecting that because that's at the base of why I chose this subject. Everything that we're saying is not what we have not said years before, but it's timely because of the operation, the logistical operations in the political venues around the world. It is current events. Are we clear?
Yes.
And we may think that we have the luxury to keep taking these things as another session for conversation, when the real deal is that people's physical and economic lives are not going to be at stake. They're on the table being traded right now. And they will sacrifice people without a second thought. There's not even a thought given to it. And with the hypothecation operations of all of their stock options and derivatives that are tagged to humans, you go with it. There's no hesitation. Do you understand? So they're going to be aggravating and starting things all around the world and then sacrificing you first as pawns to satisfy their debts, not your debts. We've been telling the people the alleged national debt is the debt of the corporation, not of you, the humans. But they tag it to you through the Sister QV Trust to say that you are the unqualified beneficiary and they're the double trust FOFR trustees. So they want to kill off the creditors. Are we clear? And because we're in the belly of the beast, you're first.